guys, I'm so excited for today's video because today I'm going to be hopefully introducing you to a new indie brand that you have not heard of. I have used their shadows in a couple of videos in the past, kind of just like sprinkled in here and there, but I haven't made a dedicated video on these shadows before. So the brand in question is ShinebySD. ShinebySD is a Canadian indie brand. All of the shadows are handmade, and I can also proudly say that this video is sponsored by ShinebySD. Thank you, I love you guys so much. I hope I do your shadows justice because these are just so beautiful. So in this video, I'm going to do basically a kind of a brand overview. I'm going to show you all of the collections that I have, all of the swatches, all of the shadows, as well as doing 5 looks using a ton of these shimmers on my eyes. This brand mostly focuses on shimmers at the moment. I don't know if they're going to be expanding into mattes yet, but honestly, their shimmers are so good that I don't really blame them. So basically what I'm going to be focusing on is in this video, mostly focus on, I should say. I am going to be using a lot of these, but I want to mostly focus on like the 2 new collections here. So you have the Dynamic Duos, which is this bundle here of 10 shadows. You cannot buy these as a bundle, but you can buy all of these as singles, whereas some of these other ones, they do come in bundles and they do have a discount on the bundles. So I'll tell you about that when we get to that. I also want to focus a lot on the Golden Hour 2 collection, which are these 8 shadows up in the corner here. I also have the Golden Hour 1 bundle, which are 13 shadows. This you can buy in a bundle for $111. That is in USD. I did convert all of the prices into American because I just thought that having it in dollars and not Canadian dollars would make it a little bit easier for you guys to understand. So let's see. These are some random 6 shadows that I got sent in PR the first time I tested out the brand, as well as this is the Reserve collection. This is one of my absolute favorite shadows that I have from ShinebySD. These are so beautiful. These are very nice, kind of sparkly, toppery shade, but you can also use them very opaquely, and they're just so glittery and so yummy. Like, they're so amazing. I love this collection so much. Would highly recommend you check this out if you are interested in maybe buying something from ShinebySD. So I do also have a code with ShinebySD that is non-affiliated. It's just a net. It will save you 10% off. It doesn't work on bundles, but it does work on singles. So obviously all of these are sold as single shadows. And I'm also going to have pictures of all of the swatches with the names on them kind of sprinkled in. So if you feel like there's anything that you want, if that is helpful, maybe take a screenshot of it and like save them if you're wanting to pick up an order, and then maybe take a look at the swatches to kind of like decide what it is that you want to pick up. So I do want to just preface before like showing you some of the swatches that this collection, or these shadows in general, are a very dry formula. So they don't swatch good, but please don't judge a shadow by a swatch, because obviously putting shadows on the eyes, they're going to look a lot different, especially put on top of an eyeshadow primer or a glitter glue or spraying your brush or something like that. And I would highly recommend using some kind of a tacky base with these shadows. So when I did swatch them, I did swatch them over an eyeshadow primer because, like I said, they're a very dry formula, and I have had a couple of shadows like that in the past couple of months that I've had the same experience with, especially the Dragon Prism 2 palette from Enchanted Luster Cosmetics. That formula is extremely dry as well, and they just didn't swatch that great when I swatched them out on camera. But on the eyes, like, oh my god, they are some of the most beautiful shadows, and also some of my favorite shadows in my collection now. So don't judge a shadow on a swatch, just want to make that very clear. But let me go ahead and show you the Dynamic Duos. So basically this whole collection is a very grungy series of eyeshadows. They all have a bit of a kind of brown base to them. It's very hard to explain, but you will see it in the swatches that they all have a very unique shift to them as well. And on the eyes, they look so wet looking, so shiny, so metallic, so beautiful. They can be used kind of sheer, or you can really get like full opacity with them, which is of course what I did because it's what I like in my shadows. So like I said, these are only sold as singles simply because a lot of them are very similar, so you definitely don't need all of them, and they retail for $7.28 each. The Golden Hour bundle as well has kind of like that same shift to them, but this one kind of shifts yellow. So I like that all of the collections are kind of like colors in the same family in a way, like same. It's hard to explain, but I love that there are like small collections that kind of go together. So the Golden Hour 2 bundle, I love using these as like inner corner highlights. They are beautiful for that. Again, I don't think you need all of them personally. I would recommend, if you're going to be picking something up after you watch this video, I would say pick a little bit from everything. Like, get a good collection of like stuff from everything to try out the brand, because all of these shadows have like something special to them, and I would say you're missing out if you're only trying to go for one collection, if that makes sense. Like, because all of the shadows here, I would recommend all of them. Like, I haven't had a single dud, so whatever you pick out, you're probably going to love. It's just going to depend on like what kind of formulas and textures and colors that you like. I'll show you some swatches of the Golden Hour 1 bundle as well. These also lean a little bit yellow, which I think is absolutely beautiful. They are, again, super beautiful, super easy to work with. These are a little bit less dry than the Dynamic Duo, so these you might not need as much of a sticky base with to work with, but if you do put them on top of some kind of a glitter glue or you spray your brush, they're just even more intense, which is obviously what I love in my shadows. And then the Reserve bundle, you can buy the whole bundle. This is the only bundle that I would probably recommend, because all of these are like different enough that you don't feel like you have, you know, two shadows that are almost exactly the same, because all of these are just very, very unique. So this bundle retails for $45.98, which is not bad at all for getting 8 shadows, especially shadows, 7 shadows, I lied, 7 shadows that are this stunning. I think we should just go ahead and get into the looks, because obviously 5 looks is going to take a while. Hopefully I'm able to edit it down to a normal amount of time and not be like an hour-long video, but let's just go ahead and jump into the looks, and then we'll talk a little bit more at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get into the first look. So I've already primed my eyes. I use my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base like I always do. So I think for this look, I'm going to focus mostly on this shadow right here, which is called Make You Happy. This one is described as a burgundy with a blue shift, so I want to see if I can get that blue shift to really come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a blue crease, and then we'll pop that all over the lid and kind of see how that works. And I might pop one of these other ones like in my inner corner, just to kind of, you know, play around with as many of these as possible. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the crease and on the mattes in this video, because it's not the focus of the video, if that makes sense. So you're just gonna have to see me do the crease. I'm gonna be very quick with it. It's not going to be like tutorial based. So I'm going to first go in with a very light blue here as my transition shade, and then I'm going to deepen it up with a dark shade. Once I have this light blue down, I'm going to go in with a darker blue to deepen this up with. It doesn't really matter exactly like what the tone of these are. If you want to do something similar, you totally can. Just kind of use what you have in your collection that you feel like looks similar to what I'm using. Alright, so let's go ahead and go in with this shadow now. So what I'm going to do is on one eye, I'm going to use a glitter primer, and on the other eye, I'm going to spray it, just so you can kind of see the difference between the two applications. So on this eye, I'm going to go in with some glitter primer, and then I'm just going to pop the shadow right over the top. So I find a good way to use multi-chromes and duochromes is to really let the shadow shine. You want to put it over a large surface area, because that way you really get to see the shift on it. So I'm just gonna, wow, I can really see the blue shift come out when I put it next to the blue. That is crazy, because I couldn't really see like how blue this was when I swatched it. That is so interesting. So obviously this is a good way to get the shift to come out. If you read the description on like your shadows that you have in your collection, you can see what the shift is supposed to be, and then you can use one of the shadows in the shift in your crease, and then that color will really come out when you put it on your eyes. This is so cute. I mean, do you see just like how wet looking and shiny the shadow is? Oh, I really like that. That looks beautiful. Love it. So on the other side, I'm gonna go ahead and just flip my brush, and I'm going to wipe this off so I don't have anything on it. I'm going to pick up the shadow, and then I'm going to use some of my Fix Plus to spray this with. So you always want to pick up the shadow before you spray, because if you go in with just a wet brush, you might end up getting hard pan in your shadows, which you definitely don't want that. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this all over my eyeball here. So you can see on this side, it's definitely looking a lot more foiled, and it's looking a little bit more, I wouldn't say textured, but like in a good way, if that makes sense. But it's looking a little bit smoother on this side. So it really just depends on like kind of the look that you're going for. I definitely think it looks a little bit more intense with some glitter primer. So like I said before, I do recommend using some kind of a base for these shadows, because it's just really going to help bring out the best in them. But this shadow is just so beautiful. And I really think that this collection, since it is kind of, I wouldn't say neutral base, but I find that the undertone on a lot of these, especially when you swatch them out, you probably saw it in these swatches, that they all kind of lean a little bit brown. I don't know if that really makes sense, but like that's kind of what I saw when I was watching them. So I feel like this is a great collection for someone who maybe are a little bit scared of color. If you like to do a neutral crease, all of these shadows would look so beautiful on the lid without being too much, but just adding a little bit of like extra something and extra interest to a look. I think that this would be a great collection really for anybody. Even if you like color like me, you can see I really pulled out the blue in this and it looks absolutely stunning. So let me go ahead and find something that I'm going to use in my inner corner. Ooh, I think this is the one I'm going to use. That is beautiful. This is one of the Golden Hour 2 collection shadows. This one is called Tickle Me. It's a green tea yellow shift. I think that would look really beautiful in the inner corner. Just taking this on a small pencil brush here and just spraying that a little bit. And then I'm going to pop it right in my inner corner so we can really get that extra pop. Oh, I love that. I love having a bright, colorful inner corner. It is my favorite thing ever. I don't know if I would call this necessarily like super colorful, but it's definitely colorful. Oh, it's so blinding. Super simple. This is basically all I'm going to do for this look. I'm gonna finish off. I'll have everything that I use in my description box down below if you want to go check it out. But I'll finish off and I'll come back and I'll show you the first final look. Alright, so this is the finished first look, and I love this. I mean, you can see how easy it was when I was doing it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love how simple it is. Sometimes simpler is better if you're trying to like show off different shadows, and I find that doing looks like this really gets the shadow to like have its full moment, you know what I mean? So definitely gonna try to keep most of my looks pretty simple and not use more than like 2 shades on my lid because I do really want to show off like the shifts in these. But this is going to be look number 1. Let's go ahead and do another look. Okay, look number 2. If I'm looking a little rough, it's because I just took off my eye makeup, so just gonna deal with that. I just wanted to do another look because, I don't know, I'm just having a good time. So I think for this look, I want to use 2 shadows and I want to do a halo eye. So I want to use the shadow here called Fire Me Up. I think that would look really beautiful together with one of these kind of more yellow toned ones. So this one is Know It All. So I think using these 2 in a halo eye would look beautiful. And so I'm going to find kind of like a pinky purpley crease, I think, to go along with this because it just kind of makes sense in my head, I guess. I might actually just use 1 shade. I think I'm going to use this one. This is sort of like a fuchsia shade, and this can go quite deep as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and build this up in my crease. Going to keep it kind of a round shape, and I'm going to do the same thing all the way around my eye. Okay, so I know this isn't perfect, but let's go ahead and go into the shimmer. So I'm first going to take the one called Fire Me Up here. So I'm taking this on my Morphe E36, which is a tiny brush. I really love this one for doing halo eyes. I am going to spray it, and I'm going to put this in the outer and the front portion of my lid. So I'm going to start in the inner portion here and just kind of build this up to where it is that I want it to be. Taking it in the outer corner of my eye. Gonna leave a little bit of room just in the middle. I don't really feel like putting this on such a small surface is doing the shadow any justice because I know how beautiful the shadow can be. It definitely, again, like I said in my first look, the best way to really get a shadow to shine is to use it all over your lid because that way you really get to see the shift. But I think as soon as I go in with my middle shade, it will all come together and look beautiful. Now with the same brush, just going to wipe it off, I'm going to go into the shade called Know It All. And this one is going to go right in the middle of my eye and just blend it into both sides here. That is a stunning color. This isn't even as intense as the other gold, but I figured this one will be a little bit easier to just blend into the other one and get a smooth blend. So it's just very, very smooth on the eyes. That is one thing that I really like about these shadows. It's just how smooth they look, and they also don't crease on me at all, which is great. If you're someone who don't like very textured shimmers, but you still want them to be metallic and intense, this is a great formula for that. Just being quite precise here and just focusing it right in the middle of my eye. Gently blending it into the outer and inner corner. Tapping it in my crease just a little bit right up here. I'm not going to pull it all the way up to that mat, but I do maybe want a little bit of this to show when my eye is open. Did I bring this a little bit too high up? Maybe, but I think it's going to be okay. Gonna go back into that first shade that I put on my lids and just make sure that the blend here is looking good between the two colors. I can really see now the shift in this color, and I feel like putting that yellow on the lid really brought that out because now I can see a lot more of that kind of orangey shift. Okay, I think I like this. Do I want to do anything fancy in my inner corner, or do I just want to grab one of the reserved shadows? Maybe, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So that one could be really pretty. I think this is the one I'm going to use. Like I said, this is from the Reserve collection. This is the Reserve number 3. These are quite glittery, so you definitely want to use some kind of a base or spray these because they are also a little bit dry, so you might get some fallout if you don't do that. But when you do, I mean, just look at that. Isn't that stunning? Like, I love this whole collection for inner corner. I've yet to try any of them like all over my lids, but I feel like they would be beautiful that way as well. I think this is one of my favorite collections from ShinebySD. They're just right up my alley. Like, I love something like this. Because like I said before, I love having a colorful inner corner highlight. It just makes me so happy. Oh man, that is so bright. It's almost looking like neon-y. Oh, I love it. Oh, I just cannot get over how bright this is. Look at it. Oh, it looks so cute. So I think I'm done with this look. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off. Maybe I'll put in a little bit more of that matte in my crease just to kind of intensify that. But other than that, I'm just gonna finish off my eyes and the rest of my face, which is basically done. But I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the completed look, and I really like how this turned out, especially paired with the purple lipstick and the green in the waterline. I feel like with this hair color, I'm just going to use green in my waterline every single day for the rest of time that I have this because it just goes with every look. So yeah, that's gonna be it for look number 2. Like I said, I really like how this turned out. I don't do halo eyes that often because sometimes I wonder like if they really suit me that well because I do have hooded eyes, but I think I like them. Like, let me know, do you like them on me? Because I do want to keep doing them because I think they look really, really cute, especially on other people. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of look number 2. Let's go ahead and do look number 3. So for my third look, I do have a plan in mind, and what I want to do is I want to take a black gel liner and I want to use that to do a giant wing with, and then basically just layer some of these beautiful shimmers on top and just kind of smudge out underneath my lower lash line with some kind of a color that's going to go with the shadow. So I haven't exactly decided like the color scheme that I want to work with the shadow, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with the wing. So like I said, I'm going to use a black gel liner, and I'm going to fast forward so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm not really going to explain too much because this isn't really about the techniques. It's more about just showcasing these shadows.
I'm trying to stay focused, but somehow all I can think of is when you split. I gotta find the motive, play forward, watch every sequence bit by bit, cause this is my own investigation.
So I think these are about as even as they're going to get. So my next step is going to put down some NYX glitter primer. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I just really want these to like pop against this black, and I feel like this is just going to give them the best chance at being their best self, if that makes sense. Just gonna place my glitter primer all over where I put down this liner. I'm just kind of patting it on here. It doesn't have to be super precise or anything like that. And I'm just going to do one eye at a time because I don't want my glitter primer to dry up while I'm working. So I think I have an idea what I want to do. So I'm going to start on the outer portion of my wing with the shade here called Jumping for Joy. And I am going to be jumping around between collections here a little bit because I want to put a lot of these on my lid because having something like this is just really fun and a good way to be able to showcase a lot of colors. So I'm going to go ahead and just start by, like I said, packing this on the outer portion of my wing here. This might take a little bit of time to just get a nice application, but I think that this is going to really pull out like the shifts in these colors. Having a little bit of fallout with this, but I'm also going in quite heavy with a very, very small brush, so not really surprised, but you can start to see now just how absolutely beautiful and shiny that looks, and now I'm really seeing like that kind of blue shift come out in it. So next up, I'm going to go into this shade. This is from the Reserve collection. I don't know if this is going to be maybe a little too light, but we'll find out. This is the Reserve number 5. Just going to start placing that right next to where I put down this other shadow. Ooh, that looks so beautiful. I've yet to try these over a black base, so I'm really excited right now because I feel like any shimmer over a black base, especially something that's very glittery and a little bit on the sheer side, is really going to shine when you do this. That looks beautiful. I'm keeping this in a bit of a diagonal line here so that they just layer and blend in together a little bit nicer. Well, I really like that. They look kind of similar, but you can definitely see that this one is lighter than the one that I have on the outer corner. And then I think for the inner portion, I want to use kind of a blue shade. I think that could be sort of fun. So I'm going to take another one from the Reserve collection here, and this is the number 4. Let me just kind of see if this is, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm just going to take that basically on the rest of my lid. That is stunning. Gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye and just kind of finesse the blends here a little bit, and then I'll come back and we'll do the inner corner and the under eye together. So for my lower lash line, I do want this to be like quite blown out and very intense. So I'm first gonna go in with a eyeliner. This is actually a lip liner, but I'm gonna use it as an eyeliner. So I'm gonna take this in my waterline, but I'm also going to take it basically on my lower lash line, and then I'm going to layer the matte shadow on top of it. So I'm just gonna start by placing it in my waterline. This is maybe not the best in a waterline. I haven't tried it there yet, but I guess we're just gonna go ahead and roll with it because this is where I'm at right now. So like I said, I am going to take this under my eye as well, just so I can have a base for that purple shadow to lay on. Usually I'm too lazy for this step, but it does really help shadows to stick under your eye if you have problems with your eyes watering or something. This is a really nice trick. And I am going to be leaving the house today, so I really want my makeup to last. So I'm just going to go into a dark matte purple and place that right over the top. Does this look a little bit crazy? Yeah, but just wait until I've gotten some mascara on. I think it's all going to come together. So for my inner corner, I want to go with a blue. So I'm going to use another shadow from the Reserve collection. These are some of my favorites from ShinebySD, if you can't already tell. And this is the Reserve number 6. Of course, I am going to spray that. And it's just going to go right in my inner corner where I don't have any shadow yet. And this is really going to pop. Like, these are so intense in the inner corner, which is why I love them so much, because inner corner highlights make me so happy. Just going to blend it up onto my wing. Okay, so this is the completed look. I decided to just finish off. My camera turned off and I was like, why would I turn on the camera just to say that I was going to finish off? So here I am. So yeah, I really love this look. I think it's so cool. I love doing like big wings on myself. I just think that they're very flattering for my hooded eyes. And I also just love how I was able to showcase so many different shadows and just really show you like how beautiful these can be if layered on a black base. I know I don't do that very often, but it's definitely something that I want to play a little bit more with, because honestly, shadows just kind of transform when you put them over the top of something that's black, especially these kind of shadows. So beautiful. I'm so excited about this. I'm so glad I did this look. So I'm honestly so excited to just keep playing with these shadows. Who knows how many looks we're gonna do. I think I'm gonna end up doing 5. So like I said, this is look number 3. Everything I'm wearing will be listed down in my description box. Let's go ahead and jump into the 4th look. Look number 4, let's go. So I keep staring at like all of my beautiful shadows and it's so hard to decide which ones I want to work with, but I think that the star of this look is going to be this beautiful kind of goldy green shade. This is in the shade, what are you called? Turn Your Back. So this is what the shadow looks like. It is stunning. So I think what I want to do is kind of like a dirty, grungy, green, black crease or something like that, and just pop this all over the lid. I think that could be so beautiful. So I'm going to start by taking this shade up here and use this as my transition shade, and then I'm going to use a black to really deepen this up and grunge this up with. Then dipping into a black shadow, and I'm going to use that to really deepen this look up with, not only in the outer corner of my eye, but also all the way through my crease. I'm also going to take a little bit of this black just underneath my eye, not all the way across, but just on the outer third or so. And you're not gonna believe this, but I'm gonna take a little bit of brown to use underneath my eye to smoke this out with, because I just think that that could be kind of fun. I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling that today. So the mattes are on. I'm going in with a little bit of my glitter primer just so we can get a little tacky base down here. And with the same brush, I'm gonna go into that shadow called Turn Your Back, and it's just gonna go all over my lid. And honestly, I love doing my makeup like this because if I'm not filming, if I'm traveling, or I'm just not filming for some reason, like this is how I do my makeup. Like I will first take a look at either my mattes or my singles, and then kind of figure out like what color it is I want to work with, and then I build a look around that. I don't really ever use like palettes to do my makeup with because I like to have the option to pull from different places, and this is exactly like how I would do that, if that makes sense. Oh, the shadow is so beautiful. Do you see how metallic that is? And it definitely has a shift. It's got like a gold to green shift is what it looks like to me. So stunning. Like I honestly feel like I could do, with these single shadows, I could probably do 100 looks and still not feel like I've done it all, you know, because there's just so many options and so many different textures, so many different formulas, and it's just exciting. It's exciting to work with, and that is why I like single shadows so much. I do wish I could use my singles more, but especially being able to do it like this, I just think that this is so fun. Oh, that shadow is beautiful. Oh, I love it. Did I take this shadow up maybe a little bit too high? Maybe, but I don't even care because it's so pretty. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to finish off my eyes. I'll come back and then we can do something in the inner corner as well. If I can find something here that I want to use. I think I have a shadow. Actually, let's just do that right away because this shadow is taunting me. This one is from the Golden Hour 2 bundle. It's called Tickle Me. I'm going to spray that a little bit and then we're just going to put that in the inner corner of my eye. I feel like this is going to be a bit of an icy green. And I think that's going to be really, really fun with this look, and I love it. I love it. Man, these shadows are just so metallic. Like, a little goes a very, very long way with these. Okay, fun. I love this. So I'm going to finish off my eyes. I'll be right back and show you the look. And here is the completed look number 4. I love this look. I think it's so beautiful. I think it's kind of classy and grungy at the same time. I don't know if it's because I paired it with a red lipstick, but I feel very Christmas and I feel kind of glam in like a rock and roll way. I don't know. But I really like this look, and that shimmer shade just honestly, it makes my heart flutter a little bit because I love metallic shimmers like this so much. They are my absolute favorites, and I can just stare at this all day and just be so happy. So that's gonna be it for look number 4. I think we should go ahead and jump into the last look. Okay, last look. This is making me so sad because I want to keep playing with these forever, but I mainly want to focus on the 2 Golden Hour collections for this look. So I kind of have a couple of shadows in mind that I want to use, but first let's go ahead and do some mattes. So I'm going to start by taking this kind of peachy shade here as my transition shade, and I think I want to deepen it up with maybe the one next to it, which is more of a kind of darker berry shade. So the peach shade is just going to go in my crease as my transition shade. I think I want to make this into a bit of a winged out look because I feel like I haven't really done that with any of my other looks yet, except for that very big wing that I did, but I haven't done like a big shadow wing yet, or have I? Maybe I have, I don't know. I feel like all of my looks have kind of like started to merge together now because it's been a while since I've done them, and all I can remember is like which colors I've used, but not exactly the looks that I've done. So maybe I've done a winged out look, maybe I haven't, but that's what I'm going to do. Actually, I take back what I said before. I'm going to go into this one, which is more of a darker berry. It looks kind of reddish brown in the pan, but I think it's just going to come off kind of like dark berry, so I'm hoping that's the case. I'm going to use that to really deepen this look up as much as I am able to here. Okay, have I done a lot of looks like this lately? Yes. Do I care? No. Let's see, what do I want to do? I'm gonna put down some glitter primer because, I mean, that's just a step that I always do. Just gonna take this all over my lid where I want these beautiful shimmers to be. And I can't remember the last time I did a cut crease or anything like that. Maybe I need to do one again because I feel like it has been forever. I've just been so lazy and I've been enjoying way more blended looks lately. and it kind of just goes in phases. Sometimes I like that, sometimes I like more structured looks, and I guess this is just what I'm doing right now. So first off, I'm gonna start with the shade right here, which is called Absolute Joy. It's misspelled though, so it's called Absolute Joy. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I'm gonna guess it's called Absolute Joy, but I could be wrong. But that's gonna go in the outer half of my lid. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely beautiful. This is a purple with a yellow shift. Oh my, I wasn't even expecting that. I mean, I knew there would be a shift to it, but I don't think that I've actually put this like on a large surface area on my eye before. That is so stunning. Ooh, I'm excited to test out another one of these now on the inner portion, because mostly I've just been using these as like inner corner shades. And I hope that the shift is showing up on camera, because for me it is so strong. Like I can really see, you can probably see it here. Oh, it's so stunning. And then for the front portion of my lid, I'm gonna go with this one, I think. Let me just make sure that it doesn't have like a crazy shift. I think that's gonna be really nice. This is in the shade Blossom, and this is from the Golden Hour 2 bundle. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on the front portion of my lid. That is really pretty as well. Not as strong of a shift, but it's also a much lighter shadow. Ooh, but I think these are gonna blend so nicely together. I love it. Man, this one goes such a long way as well. Like, I still have more product on my brush. Like, you really just need such a small amount of these shadows, and they just pick up beautifully as well. And just because I can, let's do something fun underneath my eye as well. Let me swatch this. Ooh, that's so pretty. This is from the Golden Hour 1 bundle. This one is called Forever Loved. Remember how I said I need to clean my brushes about 2 videos ago probably for you? Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks for me and I still have not cleaned my brushes. Thank God for like spot cleaning sprays, because otherwise I would have such dirty brushes that this kind of saves me, but I still really need to clean my brushes because it's starting to get really out of hand here. Oh, look at that. Isn't that stunning? Like, I know this is a sponsored video and all, but like, I would still have the exact same reactions if it wasn't, because I love these eyeshadows so much. I'm actually just going to take this in my inner corner as well, because I couldn't find anything else that would really go in there. So I think that this is just going to tie it all together. I really like this look. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish off with this, and then I'm gonna finish my eyes, and I will come back and I will show you the look. Okay, so this is the 5th and last look all done. I am so happy about this look. I think it turned out so beautiful. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite look was. And I'm so sorry I forgot the close-ups of look number 4. I just completely forgot, and then I took my makeup off and I was like, oh shit. So I'm so sorry about that, but I will of course have pictures of all of these looks up on my Instagram. You can follow me there if you want to. So those were all of the looks. Man, I'm so sad that I'm at the end of the video now and I'm not doing any more looks, because this was so fun. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, ShinebySD, for sponsoring this video. Like I said in the beginning, I would highly recommend you guys going to check out their website and just pick up a little bit here and there from like every collection and test out all of it, because as you could see when I was doing the looks, there are so many different formulas, so many different textures, so many different colors, and just fun things to play with. And I feel like ShinebySD has a lot of very unique shadows that would add something to you guys' collection, especially if most of you have just palettes. Like if you have mostly palettes, you don't have anything like this in palettes, because palettes don't contain shadows like this. All of these would make for such a beautiful addition to like any palette collection. Even if you have a lot of singles, I feel like a lot of these would be beautiful and very unique to your collection as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, ShinebySD, for sponsoring this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see some other multiple look videos I have on my channel, here's my playlist. And if you're new, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.